Now, from performing a stand-up show in 3 different languages to running 32 marathons in 31 days, our guest today is no stranger to a challenge. And now Eddie Izzard is about to tour the UK with her solo production of Shakespeare's iconic play Hamlet, where she takes on the role of 23 characters. So, here to tell us more ahead of it kicking off, please welcome Eddie Izzard. Goodness me, you like the challenge, don't you?
Well, can I say, for starters, one, loads of people are doing solo shows now because I think it's just more, you can control it better. And also, it's about 8 main characters.
Okay.
And if you add all the others, it gets to 23. But it's not...
It's a lot.
It's tricky. It is difficult. I mean, this is Shakespeare. I don't know about you or people watching, but Shakespeare really intimidated me as a kid. I wanted to do acting. I was age of 7. I'm acting. That's what I'm going to do professionally. I'm pushing for this. And but reading it out at school, and I'd get lost. And I'm dyslexic as well, severely atypically dyslexic. So reading it was like and Elizabethan verse. It's tricky.
It is.
So. When it went through, my stand-up career eventually started taking off. I got a separate dramatic agent and pushed for doing dramas. So this is... The tragedy of Hamlet is at one of the top levels of what we can do in
I mean, when you
acting.
talk about sort of being a bit fearful of Shakespeare as a kid, like you say so many of us are, was there a change for you where you started sort of understanding the text a little bit
Roman
more?
Polanski's Macbeth, and I thought, it's an action movie. And Banquo gets a double-bladed axe in the back, and I go, oh, I know this. This is like the Sweeney, but with with bigger, longer words, more poetic words. And Shakespeare poetry is fantastic. Some of it's impenetrable. Sometimes his plots go crazy. There are 2 versions of Hamlet, so everyone does their version of that, because there's a first quarto and a second quarto. But this is 2 hours. With the poetry, we grab that. We make it very... we want it so that every audience kids from 9 to 90 can take hold of it. And we've done 170 performances now. I've done 175 performances, and we sold about almost 50,000 tickets.
And it was, you did New York. Last time you came on, you were just about to do London, but you've done New York. How was that?
New York was fantastic. Got a couple of nominations there. We extended 3 times. Chicago, box office records. London, and then on. And we're going to go take it around the world. It's a world tour.
What is the biggest difference between, like, an American audience and, like, a UK audience, for example?
Normally, I feel the people I play to, they're pretty similar, but I have found in Shakespeare, I think we in British audiences are told it's almost like, don't you eat all your greens or Shakespeare will come and get you.
Don't react. I think I've seen a lot of Shakespeare in the theatre, and I think people are very reverential.
Yeah.
And they kind of go in the bended knee position.
Yes, that is true. But not in America so much.
Really?
No,
do they interact and
they're just a slightly more seated position. It's more, he's another writer. Yes, we have, some of us have British heritage, and so it extends back to that, but he's just another writer, and we know that it's good, and some of it's impenetrable or difficult to grab hold of.
Now, what changed it for me was seeing the film, Baz Luhrmann's film of Romeo and Juliet, because I think that took Shakespeare in a trice to teenagers. You just saw this film, and it was so exciting, and they did not change the dialogue, did they? They just spoke Shakespeare.
No, we haven't. We have meant there's certain words used, like bodkin. Well, this is the thing with Judy. Judy did say spectacular. I didn't ask her to say that. And I said, can I use it, Judy? She said yes. But she wanted bare bodkin to be in it, and my brother, who did the adaptation, my brother Mark, he changed it to mere dagger, because dagger we can grab hold of, and bodkin has been lost over 400 years. Now, bodkins were 10 a penny in those days. They punch holes. They're kind of like huge needles that all the sailors on the Thames, and there would have been tons of boats, they punch holes in things to make it so you make your sails up. But bodkins have gone a bit. So we have augmented little things, because I wanted the audience to be sitting there and go, I know what they're saying, I know where you're going, I understand the beauty of the poetry, not, oh, can someone Google that for me? What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's true.
And I don't think Shakespeare...
So are you working close? I mean, we're talking about siblings earlier on, weren't we? And do you work closely with your brother? Do you get on when you guys are working
My older
together?
brother, Mark, we get on, we work together, and sometimes we argue. We're 50% exactly the same, 50% different. But when Mum died, when I was 6 and he was 7, we went to boarding schools. It was decided between Mum and Dad that's the way forward. And so Mark had to take all that pressure. I was clinging on to him. He was clinging on to no one. And it was So it was not easy. It was not. I thought it was not easy for me. I realised it was really hard for him, and I will go through a brick wall. I kind of like, and Mark is more sensitive, and brick walls were harder for him. And I think I just, you know, grabbed hold of him.
But your personality, to me, seems indomitable. Like you push yourself to extremes. I mean, I saw you in your early one-man shows, but decades and decades ago. And then you took them on and on and on. Then you run the marathons, 32 marathons in 31 days. And then you perform in French. And, you know, to me, you are constantly pushing yourself to the limit. But the aspect of you that I find the most extraordinary is pushing to be an MP. So I'm thinking, Eddie, love, you must have the thickest skin on the planet. You stood in Sheffield, they gave you the knockback. You tried to get selected in Brighton, they gave you the knockback. Where's it going to be next?
Well, who was the great leader of the House? The woman who was the great leader of
Margaret
Speaker?
Thatcher.
No, Speaker.
Oh, Barbara Castle.
No. Anyway,
Betty Boothroyd.
Betty Boothroyd, 14 goes to get through selection.
Yes.
And the point is, I think it's, I'm just going to keep going because I know I have certain skills. I like people. I feel I can find the centre of an argument, which I think is very important. Because sometimes, you know, you're people having arguments saying, actually, you're both agreeing. You realise you're both agreeing, or just change that, which doesn't happen much in politics, I must say. but, you know, trying to find the centre of an argument, having a vision of where the future could be. I think, you know, when I came out 40 years ago now, when I came out as trans, I thought there's a better place we can get to. And even if you think it's kind of shouty and kind of angry at the moment, there was nothing happening when I came out in '85. It was just, I was a wrong person, a toxic person. And I just thought, no, this is truthful at a time when certain politicians just make stuff up, pure and simple. And I was going, well, this is how I am. And it's been, people have been feeling like this for thousands of years. So I thought it'd be a better way of going forward. Now, politics is a very tricky place. And if you think it's tough now, go back through history. It's always been tough. Remember, Enoch Powell was saying rivers of blood, and that was, and it didn't turn into rivers of blood.
Angela Rayner, some people would say, has been picked on primarily because of snobbishness, you know, carrying on in British society, the fact she comes from a background that's still looked down on in some quarters. So you can see that politics is moving in spite of people like Wes Streeting and so on proclaiming their working class credentials. Politics is moving very, very slowly.
It does move slowly, and some people are trying to drag humanity back to the 1930s, 1950s, 1930s even. But the rest of us, a lot of good people are trying to drag it forward to the 2030s. So,
oh, well, good luck. Good luck.
But I'm trying to do it with my own soft power. That's why I'm performing in Spanish and French and German, because they laugh at the same things that we're laughing at. And I realise there's more. I make connections rather than break connections. Some politicians say, let's break connections, pull back, let's go backwards. I'm saying, let's go forwards, let's reach out.
But I tell you what, Eddie, it's been an absolute joy as always to have you on the show, and thank you for the beautiful things that you said about your brother. I think we all feel very strongly about our siblings, so thank you for sharing that with us. And good luck for it kicking off on Saturday.
Thank you.
Eddie Izzard, ladies and gentlemen.